Hey guys, it's Jen, the creator of JuJu'be Doula Holistic Birth Wellness. So I am doing this video to share a little bit about my Sacred Light Guide. So my Sacred Light Guide session is it's my intro session. It is what I like my clients to begin with, right? It's a good space to begin the process. And within the Sacred Light Guide, we take time to really get clear on what it is that you're working through, on what your intention is for the session. So and then we design the session around that, essentially. Yes, the session goes according to a certain way, but it is based on what you wish to receive out of the session. So I like my clients to come in fairly clear with what their intentions are. So perhaps it's I desire to have a calm and peaceful birth experience. I don't want to be anxious in birth. I don't want to fear birth. I want to experience as little, I want to be able to handle birth. I want to be able to have a good birth experience, whatever that may be. And so we spend some time talking about your whole life and things that may come up during birth. So things that you want to work through prior to birth. These may be things that you think are completely unrelated to birth, and yet you may be holding on to fear that is something that you picked up when you were young. The way society has programmed you to think about birth, not how it truly is. So we would transition you out of that way of thinking when it comes to birth. And we would, you could say, restructure you in order to be, allow yourself to birth freely, right? Without that fear coming up that is affecting your birth potential, but that really shouldn't, right? Birth is a natural process. And within society, we pick up this fear of birth, all these horrible things could happen, and yet it's no different than getting a cold and having your normal bodily function activate and you heal from the cold. And I'm not saying birth is it's a natural process though, right? Like you are having a baby and your body knows what to do, right? And so all of the evidence supports this. All of the evidence, everything out there, although you wouldn't believe it because of how we have been programmed. But I can show you all of the evidence that supports an undisturbed birth. And that an undisturbed birth is ideal for both mom, baby, and family. And that it just is ideal. And that we need to stop messing with birth and just allow birth to unfold. And that is the safest way. That is, and in order to do that, we need mom, the birthing individual to be properly and wholly and completely supported in birthing undisturbed. And there's no getting around that. That is a fact. So how do we ensure that you have that undisturbed birth experience? We work through issues that you may have been holding on to. Things like fear of parenting can get in the way of you birthing, because if you're holding a fear of being a parent, how are you going to allow yourself to have that baby? And that is how sensitive birth is. That is how sensitive the birthing individual is. And so we work to release everything out of your body, out of your mind, out of your, emotional body, your physical body, your brain, your mental body, your associations, your connections, wherever you're holding distortion regarding birth, or what birth is supposed to be like, or, whatever it may be, we let that go. We release that. We work through the subconscious layers in session. So we begin to align the subconscious to your full natural birth potential. So we heal the physical body and your ability to birth, you could say, the way nature intended. And this, yes, I work in spiritual aspects, but this is science. This is genetics. This isn't woo-woo, although we can talk woo-woo all we want. But it's also just, it just is, right? It just is. And so we come into alignment. We work to get you into alignment with that. So we spend some time talking about your fears, and getting to the root of your fears. Where did those come from? How can we release them? We talk about relationships in your life and the effects that these relationships are having on you, and how to create that harmonious environment that's needed for birth. So ensuring that you have the right people with you in the birth, at the birth. As a birthing individual, you don't want somebody messing with, your vibe. If you're in the flow and you're coping and you're doing well, the last thing you need is somebody coming in that's going to throw that off. You are so sensitive. So how do we prepare for that? How do we ensure that you are feeling good and you are ready to have this baby and you are fully engaged in the birth process? We go back to where you are not in alignment with that, where you hold on to fear, where you have experienced trauma in your life, where you have experienced dysfunction or disorder or patterns within your family that you are ready to release, so you don't bring those on to the next generation. So you don't imprint those things on. How do we go into birth, becoming new individuals, new parents, and this includes partners too. If you have a partner in the mix, right? This is, how do we create that harmony? And so we begin to look at things and release things and talk about things and move deeper. And then we go into the hypnosis session. And so I guide you into a deeper state of awareness, a calm state where you're able to calm the body in order to connect into the subconscious realms. And then we communicate with the subconscious in the hypnosis state. And you will receive codes and symbols and different gifts, you could say, along the way, that you will then begin to connect to in order to help you unravel the fear complex, the wounding, whatever it may be that you need to resolve prior to birth. You do that, and we go through the session, and then you take the time afterwards to really connect into what these symbols or these codes or the experience meant to you, and how to use it to help you release out anything that you need to in order to reach your highest potential. And this doesn't have to be in birth. This can be, I'm just giving birth as an example, any area of your life, right? How do you create and how do you design that? How do you manifest that which you need and that which you want, and that's what you deserve, right? How do you get there? And so we work through the Sacred Light Guide. And after the session, we take some time to just kind of bring you out of the session and get you, moving again back out into normal world, present day. And then I will share some guidance, some post follow-up guidance based on, how to continue to move forward with things, how to continue to work through things, how to continue to release things. I will usually send some journal prompts or things like that to kind of help you and guide your consciousness, guide you into alignment. So this is about working on the subconscious levels, because I can tell you something, but that I know to be true. But if your subconscious is still holding on to something that's not true, no matter what I say, it's like it doesn't matter, because you're still holding on to something. So it's connecting into that. Well, what am I still holding on to in the subconscious? What am I still trying to control? And it's deep work. It's energy work. And I help to facilitate that process for you and get it flowing, because when you get it flowing, it's like, I love working with the subconscious, because you learn so much about yourself and you are able to work through things much easier. And believe me, that skill comes in handy as a parent. It comes in handy in any situation that you're in. The ability to, work through something and not get triggered and different things like that, and to have be able to handle things and not fall into old programming or old ways of relating or old ways of stuffing down your feelings and not being heard and not being honored, right? And it's all of that, and it's this full spectrum thing. And then afterwards, I send you a meditation that you can continue to use that is similar to the Sacred Light Guide. And you can continue to use it on your own. And then, if you are interested, I also offer follow-up nurture and flow sessions, which those talk about, we go into more of the conscious mind, so coaching. And because we've already cleared through some of this stuff, it's much easier to connect with you on the conscious level, because we're already, getting you working through this stuff. So it's easier to kind of move and shift energies and different things around, so you can fully come into that, alignment and feel aligned and feel like, okay, I'm there, I'm ready, right? I'm ready to have this baby. I'm not afraid anymore. I feel ready. I feel prepared. I can do this. I know what I'm doing. Let's go. And then all of your choices will naturally fall into alignment with that. Now, within the hypnosis session, we also do energy work. So we're going to be bringing energies into your physical body to help to, again, release out, because, our physical body seeks to control and it holds on to things and it doesn't want to let them go. And so in hypnosis, because you're in a different state and you're relaxed, it's easier to kind of start moving energy through the body and getting, your body to relax more, because that's what we want to do. During birth, you want to be relaxed. You don't want to be tense. You don't want to be nervous. You don't want to need to be in control. You need to feel safe, supported, have a safe, supported environment, so you don't feel like you need to be in control. And then you can be relaxed and you can birth easily, because everybody's lovingly supporting you, right? And that's not to say that we don't have to change course at times, but it's okay, right? You can change course. I can go with the flow, and it's bringing that energy into your birth. So not being afraid of these things, not being afraid of needing, because sometimes you may truly need a medical intervention, but that's okay because it's needed, right? You're doing everything you possibly can to have this baby, but sometimes things do go wrong, but it's okay because you have, medical support out there. You can go to a hospital if you're having a home birth. It is, birth is, again, a natural process. Yes, sometimes things do happen, and yes, they may be a medical emergency, but quick medical response easily resolves it. The evidence supports home births. It just does. Would you ever know that? No. For low-risk births, home birth is the best option. For low-risk births, all of the evidence supports home birth by a midwife. Better birth outcomes. It just does. If you need an article, let me know. I will send it to you. If you need the evidence, let me know. I will send it to you. So we are distorted in our minds by what we think about health and how it relates to our having a baby and the system that we bring them into. So, and again, I'm not anti-hospital birth by any means. If you feel safe at a hospital, then that's where you should be. If you don't feel safe at a hospital, then, or at home, then that's not where you should be. And yet, if you truly want to have the best birth experience, you have to start releasing some of these fears and these distortions. Because if you're in fear, you will likely end up with a C-section. Because your body is not producing the hormones it needs in order to have that baby. You can't be in fear. You have to feel love. That's the hormone that births baby into this world, right? Love, oxytocin. And that's what they synthetically give you at the hospital because they're telling you can't do it yourself. Let's give you some Pitocin. Without getting into any of those details, right? And this is true, let's get your oxytocin flowing so you can have a much better birth experience. So how do we do that? We do that through Sacred Light Guide. When it comes to Sacred Light Guide in other areas, let's say Sacred Light Guide, if you are having problems in your partnership, right, in your marriage, in your relationship, in your family, whatever it may be, if you're having some issues, what can we look at that needs to shift out? Where are you not being heard? Where are you not honoring yourself? Where are you not speaking up? Where are you not placing boundaries? This isn't about blaming the other person or making the other person the bad guy, right? But this is about what can you do to navigate this relationship, to shift it, to get the support you need, to receive the love and care that you need from your partner. It's not about, again, like making somebody the bad guy, but it is, nobody else can do it for you. So those are the things that we can look at too, or if you're preparing for a conscious conception and you want to connect with your spirit baby, connect with the spirit of your unborn child in order to say it's good, it's safe now, it's time to come in. I've done all this work and I've been prepared for you and I've healed all my inner woundings and I am going to be the best parent for you ever. And so we intend for the session to be for that, for calling in the spirit of that child. If you're pregnant and you want a Sacred Light Guide, we call in the spirit of that child in order to come in, fully into the body, right? To welcome the baby, to welcome their spirit into our space. But we cannot welcome their spirit into our space, which essentially is the bonding process that you go through when you're pregnant, and also when you birth, when they come outside of you, right? And when you bond with them, when you look them in your eyes and, wow, this is my baby here, right? This is the love. This is the spirit that we're bringing into this world in order to share with this world. So how do you have that experience? How do you have and hold that experience? Like fully, like, and be present with it. You got to work through some stuff sometimes. Yep, you got to work through some stuff sometimes. So that's the beauty in these sacred light guides, is you can we design them for around whatever your heart desires, wherever you want to move to next. This is about this is not about this is about you taking action and saying, I want this experience, and I want to know how I can get there. And I need to know what I have to work through in order to get there. What I have to let go of, what I have to forgive, what I have to remember or honor in some way. What parts of myself am I denying? What aspects of myself have I hidden from myself? The human psyche is a clever creature, and we hide things from ourselves. So how do we uncover? How do we remove the veil? How do we see the truth? How do we become aware? And I know that's going really deep, but that is the intentions of the Sacred Light Guide. And then we bring in the energy to the new energy, right? We move out all that stagnant stuff and we bring in the new energy. We bring in the new energy. We birth the new energy into being. We are the sacred feminine. We birth. And you can be in any type of physical body and connect to your sacred feminine. So that's a little bit about the Sacred Light Guide. And I want to share that with you. And if you are interested in receiving a Sacred Light Guide session, please check out my website below, or schedule a discovery call with me to see if we're the right fit, to see if we're in alignment moving forward. And I hope to work with some of you soon. Thank you. Toodaloo.